Trey Lance, we talked about him possibly going to the Vikings a couple episodes ago. Now he is dealt to the Cowboys for a 4th-round pick. Things are came out Monday saying that Jerry Jones did not talk to Mike McCarthy or Dak Prescott about the trade. Kind of makes you wonder what's going on there. It's fun to start up these rumors and everything, but kind of bizarre, right, Ziggy, that you wouldn't talk to your quarterback or head coach about making a move for another quarterback, especially as high profile as Trey Lance?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think anyone was surprised to see Trey Lance get traded. And Brandon Ayuk afterwards talking about it, he said that he saw Trey Lance and it looked like a weight was lifted off of Lance's shoulders after this trade happened. Like San Francisco was just, he wasn't going to get it done there. But it surprised me the Cowboys traded for him. Now, pretty much like by the way trades work, the Cowboys offered more than any other team in the NFL for Trey Lance. Right? That's just like what it means to get Trey Lance there.
Yep.
And like you've got Dak Prescott. He's on a big deal, but there's no guaranteed money next year. He's consistently been a playoff disappointment. I don't think he's gone, but if you're Dak Prescott, I'm starting to feel that leash just a little bit. It's a little tighter. It's a little more tense. And if things go really bad this year, I could absolutely see McCarthy and Dak getting the door. It's not like Jerry Jones is known as a patient, sort of sagacious decision maker in Dallas. So it could definitely go bad quickly. And I think how Dak Prescott responds to that pressure is going to be really interesting.
Robert Ziegler throwing some kindling on that fire.
I mean, if I'm Dak, I do feel a little bit slighted that I wasn't spoken to about, my team trading for a quarterback when I'm obviously the clear-cut guy. I think what Ziggy's saying, I do agree with, is maybe to put a little bit of pressure on and make him feel that way. Like, this year, like, let me do something pretty big. Like now I got a guy behind me who is a little more threatening than Cooper Rush.
And you like it if I'm a Cowboys fan too, as long as it doesn't disrupt the team, I'm fine with Trey Lance for a 4th-round pick. Like, this guy can turn into anything.
4th-round pick, yeah.
Yeah, like he's all the talent in the world. It's just a matter of getting it to go together. And if Dak could kind of take on that mentor role a little bit, it could be a nice situation for Trey to start over. But yeah, how much validity is there in the Trey Lance being a future of the Cowboys? Obviously he hasn't proven anything yet. There's a long way to go till we get to that route. But I think the leash is quite long still for Dak because
Me too.
This team is built to win a Super Bowl within the next couple of years. And the only way that happens is with Dak Prescott at quarterback. But it's definitely an eyebrow-raising decision from Jerry Jones not to talk about it, at least with McCarthy and Dak. It's just a little strange.
Well, what's kind of weird about this? So, like, as a backup quarterback, I think Lance makes some sense because Cooper Rush is the only other real quarterback on that roster. I think they cut Will Grier. If they didn't, they're about to. But what's the problem of Trey Lance? What has it been in San Francisco that stopped him from developing? Answer: he has not gotten to play any games. He has started 4 games for the 49ers. He's been paid like $30 million for those 4 games, but he's only started 4 games for them. He's not going to start starting games in Dallas unless like Dak Prescott breaks his leg. If Dak Prescott breaks his leg, he might still be better than Trey Lance.
And he also has to beat out Cooper Rush too, which, I don't know what the situation is. I haven't watched too much of Cooper Rush.
Cooper Rush won a bunch of games last year. He won more games last year than Trey Lance has played in his NFL career.
So I don't know. It's tough to see Trey Lance having a route to starting anytime soon. But I like it for the Cowboys because why not? As long as it doesn't piss people off, which I'd be surprised.
The trade felt a little bit weird to me. It was a trade that didn't really.
The Vikings made sense. Like the Vikings have no backup quarterback really. It's Nick Mullins. It's just
like right.
And we could play Lance next year too.
Yeah, there's like a reasonable timeline where you could pass it over to Lance and just see if he has it. But
like to me, like Dallas making a trade for Lance would have been something like the Steelers trading for. It just doesn't make sense. Like you have your quarterback
who should be able to get you to or you're hoping can get you to a Super Bowl in the next 2 to 3 seasons.
Like what do you see if you're Dallas? Like we were talking about before, it's like if Dak is below average and they don't do what they want to do.
I think you have to suck. You'd have to be horrible to move on from Dak.
Yeah, why do you think that then Trey Lance comes in and he's the answer? That doesn't make a lot of sense.
I don't know. You have to imagine Dak would be really, really bad to make a change.
For Lance. Yeah.
Shockingly bad.
Yeah.
Like, if Dak
Yeah, no,
Prescott recreates last year,
he'd have to get hurt. There's no other way.
Like if Dak recreates last season, there's no way that Dallas moves on from him. Even though he had led the league in interceptions and everything, he still gives them the best chance to win a Super Bowl, right? Am I wrong on that? Or
No, 100% right.
okay,
Better than Trey Lance. I mean, yeah, I don't know. I also just sort of wonder. I think this trade still makes sense for Dallas.
I still like it.
I don't get what the 49ers are doing, right? Like Sam Darnold's there as a backup, but you've been cursed with quarterback health. We still Brock Purdy played 7 good games, but I don't think we have a big enough sample size to say he's automatically your franchise guy. You've already paid Lance millions of dollars for this year. It's not like his value is going to go down as the season goes on, right? Like quarterbacks get hurt, teams want guys. Like his value's already at an all-time low.
I mean, I
don't get the trade.
I'm guessing maybe it's for this year. I get what you're saying, but maybe it's all right. He's going into his 3rd year, probably not going to pick up the 5th-year option. You get a 4th rounder for him now, probably better than what you could get for him next year if he's not starting again. Like maybe that's part of the decision. Also, just both of them wanting to move on and get out of the news with everything.
Sam Darnold better be good if your quarterback who's coming off a UCL tear struggles a little bit.
Kyle Shanahan called him the best pure passer ever that he's ever had or something like that. It was a great comment. I can't remember what it was.
I cannot wait until when TJ Watt gets a hold of that man.
Oh, it's
and in comes Sam Darnold.
I'm trying to figure out why Atlanta and the Bucs didn't trade for him.
No, I mean, if they offered a 4th-round pick, it's better than the Cowboys 4th. They would have gotten. That's what I mean. The Cowboys paid more than every single team in the NFL.
Well, Jerry
Jones I think at a certain
little,
point,
Jerry Jones is a little crazy, but he sometimes pays off.
Yeah,
when
overall, it was just puzzling to me.
Sorry, go ahead. Yeah,
no, I was just saying overall, it was just a little puzzling trade for me.
Go ahead, Ziggy.
At a certain point, I think you have to trust consensus of the crowds. The fact that basically, because a lot of NFL teams, thought about this, right? It's not often a number 3 overall pick quarterback is available pretty cheap. They all basically decided he was worth less than a late 4th. Yeah. That actually makes me more bearish about his future than anything else we've seen from him so far.
Ziggy out on Trey Lance. That's the headline.
I'm looking because he's relatively fast. You want to change up some schemes, bring him in at receiver, do some jet sweeps.
No, but wasn't he supposed to be like Richardson? Wasn't that the big hype around him?
Not
he was supposed to be like Anthony
not
Richardson.
Not quite the running that Richardson's had hyped up, but he was supposed to be a great dual threat quarterback who could
nowhere near as physically gifted either.
No, not the physical. Like Richardson's being talked about as the most athletic quarterback.
Richardson's 6'4", 2.
I don't think Richardson though. I'm not actually sold on him being as good a runner as a Fields or Lamar yet. As much as everyone wants to hype it up, I still need to see it before I believe it because those guys are just amazing
at the NFL level.
Yeah,
at the NFL level.